Anger boiled in Samantha's veins as she watched the animal control van pull up to her house. How dare Karen call them about her beloved parrot, Penny? Little did Karen know, Penny was a therapy animal for the local community center, and Samantha would do whatever it took to keep her safe. Samantha rushed to the front door, her heart pounding, as the animal control officer approached. "Excuse me, ma'am. We received a call about a disturbance involving a parrot. Is this your residence?" "Yes, it is," Samantha replied, trying to keep her voice steady. "Look, officer, there's been a misunderstanding. Penny is a therapy animal for the community center down the street. She isn't causing any trouble." The officer glanced down at his clipboard. "I'm sorry, but we have to follow up on all animal-related calls. Do you have any documentation to prove Penny's status?" Samantha cursed under her breath. She had forgotten to grab the paperwork confirming Penny's therapy animal certification. "No, I don't have it on me right now, but I can go get it." She turned to run back inside, but the officer stopped her. "I'm afraid I'll have to confiscate the bird until you can provide the proper documentation," the officer said, his tone unyielding. Panic seized Samantha. "Please, you don't understand. Penny means everything to the kids at the center. They'll be devastated if you take her away," she pleaded, but the officer remained unmoved. At that moment, a familiar voice called out from the sidewalk. "What's going on here?" It was Karen, Samantha's nosy neighbor, a smug expression plastered across her face. Samantha gritted her teeth. "Karen, you called animal control about Penny, didn't you? How could you do this?" Karen shrugged nonchalantly. "That bird has been causing a ruckus for weeks. I was just looking out for the neighborhood." Samantha's vision went red with fury. "You have no idea what you've done. Penny is a therapy animal, and those kids depend on her. If you take her away, you'll be ruining so many lives." The officer held up a hand. "Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to step back. I need to take the bird into custody until this matter is resolved." Samantha felt her world crumbling around her. She had to think fast. There was no way she was going to let Penny be taken away, not when she knew how much the children at the center needed her. As the officer reached for Penny's cage, Samantha knew she had to act. Without hesitation, Samantha stepped in front of the officer, blocking his path to Penny's cage. "I'm sorry, but I can't let you take her. Penny is an essential part of the therapy program at the community center. Those kids need her, and I won't let you rip that away from them." The officer's brow furrowed. "Ma'am, I understand this is difficult, but I have a job to do. If you don't cooperate, I'll have to place you under arrest." Samantha's heart raced, but she refused to back down. "Then arrest me. I don't care. Penny means the world to those kids, and I won't let you take her away from them." Karen let out a triumphant cackle from the sidewalk. "See, I told you that bird was nothing but trouble. Now you're going to jail, Samantha. Serves you right." Ignoring Karen's taunts, Samantha turned to the officer with a determined gaze. "Please, sir, you have to understand. Penny isn't just a pet. She's a lifeline for so many children who rely on her. If you take her away, you'll be robbing them of the joy and comfort she brings. Isn't there anything I can do to convince you?" The officer paused, the weight of Samantha's words visibly sinking in. "Look, I get that this is important to you, but I have to follow protocol. Unless you can prove Penny's therapy status right now, I don't have a choice." Samantha's mind raced, searching for a solution. Suddenly, an idea struck her. "Wait, I know someone who can help. Just give me a few minutes, please." Without waiting for a response, Samantha dashed back into her house, leaving a bewildered officer and a smug Karen in her wake. She had to find a way to save Penny, no matter what it took. Samantha's fingers trembled as she frantically scrolled through her contacts, searching for the one person who could help her in this desperate situation. Finally, she found the number and pressed the call button, praying the call would be answered. After what felt like an eternity, a familiar voice came through the line. Hello, this is Sarah from the Willow Creek Community Center. How can I help you? Sarah, thank God you answered. Samantha blurted out. It's Samantha. I'm in trouble and I need your help, fast. Animal control is here, and they're trying to take Penny away. There was a moment of stunned silence on the other end of the line. What? Why would they do that? Samantha quickly explained the situation, her words tumbling out in a frantic rush. Karen called them, saying Penny was causing a disturbance. I tried to explain that Penny is a therapy animal, but I don't have the paperwork on me. Please, Sarah, you have to come down here and tell them. Penny means everything to the kids, and they can't take her away. Sarah's voice took on a tone of urgency. Okay, Samantha, don't worry. I'm on my way. Just stall them as long as you can. I'll be there as soon as possible. With that, the line went dead, and Samantha rushed back outside, her heart pounding. The animal control officer was still standing there, Penny's cage in hand, while Karen watched with a twisted grin. Please, officer, you have to wait, Samantha pleaded. Someone from the community center is on their way. They can prove that Penny is a therapy animal. The officer hesitated, a glimmer of uncertainty crossing his face. Ma'am, I don't know how long I can hold off. I have to follow protocol here. Karen scoffed. Oh, come on, officer. This is just a bunch of nonsense. That bird has been causing problems for weeks. Can't you see she's just making excuses? Samantha's blood boiled as she glared at her neighbor. Shut up, Karen. You have no idea what you've done. Those kids at the center depend on Penny, and you're going to ruin their lives because of your petty grudge. The officer raised a hand, silencing the heated exchange. All right, let's all just take a breath here. I'll give you a few more minutes, but then I'll have to take the bird into custody. Samantha nodded, her eyes pleading. Thank you, officer. Please just hold on a little longer. Help is on the way. As the minutes ticked by, Samantha's anxiety reached a fever pitch. Where was Sarah? Surely, she couldn't be much longer. The fate of Penny and the children who relied on her hung in the balance, and Samantha knew she had to do whatever it took to save them. Just as Samantha was about to lose hope, a familiar vehicle turned the corner and screeched to a halt in front of her house. Sarah, the director of the Willow Creek Community Center, rushed out, clutching a folder in her hands. I'm here. I'm so sorry it took me a bit, Sarah panted, her eyes wide with concern. She quickly approached the animal control officer. Officer, I'm Sarah Chambers, the director of the Willow Creek Community Center. This parrot, Penny, is a certified therapy animal for our organization. I have all the documentation right here to prove it. The officer's brow furrowed as he took the folder from Sarah's trembling hands. All right, let's take a look. Samantha held her breath, her eyes darting between the officer and the folder. Karen, on the other hand, looked visibly deflated, her smug expression replaced by one of frustration. After a few moments, the officer looked up, his demeanor softening. Well, it looks like everything is in order here. Penny is indeed a registered therapy animal for your community center. Samantha felt a wave of relief wash over her, and she could see the same emotion reflected in Sarah's face. Thank you, officer. I'm so sorry for the misunderstanding. Penny is an essential part of our program, and the children would be devastated if she was taken away. The officer nodded, handing the folder back to Sarah. I understand. I appreciate you taking the time to provide the proper documentation. I'll be on my way now. As the animal control van pulled away, Samantha turned to Sarah, her eyes brimming with gratitude. Sarah, I can't thank you enough. You saved the day. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't come through. Sarah placed a reassuring hand on Samantha's shoulder. Of course, Samantha. Penny is an important part of our community, and we would never let anything happen to her. I'm just glad I could get here in time. Samantha glanced over at Karen, who was sulking on the sidewalk, her arms crossed defiantly. What about her? Isn't there anything we can do to make her pay for what she's done? Sarah sighed, a thoughtful expression on her face. Well, I think the best revenge is to continue doing what we do best, helping those in need. Penny is right where she belongs, and the kids at the center will be overjoyed to have her back. That's the only justice we need. Samantha nodded, a newfound determination burning in her eyes. You're right. We won't let Karen's spiteful actions ruin what we've built. Penny is home, and that's all that matters. With a deep breath, Samantha turned her back on Karen and followed Sarah to the car, ready to return Penny to the children who adored her. The battle may have been won, but Samantha knew the war was far from over. As Samantha and Sarah drove back to the community center, the weight of the day's events settled heavily on their shoulders. Penny sat quietly in her cage, oblivious to the drama that had unfolded around her. I can't believe Karen would do something like this, Samantha said, her grip tightening on the steering wheel. She knew how much Penny means to those kids, and she still tried to take her away. Sarah sighed, her brow furrowed with concern. Unfortunately, some people are just determined to cause trouble, no matter the consequences. But we can't let Karen's spiteful actions distract us from what's really important: Penny's role in the therapy program. Samantha nodded, her jaw set with determination. You're right. Those kids have been through so much, and Penny is the one thing that can truly bring them joy and comfort. I won't let Karen take that away from them. As they pulled into the community center's parking lot, a chorus of excited voices could be heard from the courtyard. The children had clearly been waiting anxiously for Penny's return. Samantha and Sarah exchanged a relieved glance, knowing that their top priority was to restore a sense of normalcy and security for the young therapy participants. All right, let's go give them the good news, Sarah said, grabbing Penny's cage and leading the way towards the courtyard. As soon as the children caught sight of Penny, their faces lit up with pure elation. They crowded around the cage, their laughter and chatter filling the air. Penny's back! Penny's back! They chanted, their eyes shining with unbridled joy. Samantha watched the scene unfold, her heart swelling with pride. These children had been through so much, many of them dealing with physical, emotional, or mental challenges, and Penny's presence was a lifeline for them. One little girl, Emma, reached out to stroke Penny's soft feathers, her lips curving into a wide smile. I missed you so much, Penny, she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. Samantha felt a lump rise in her throat, and she had to blink back tears. She knew in that moment that she would do whatever it took to protect Penny and ensure the children's safety and well-being. As the afternoon wore on, the children played and interacted with Penny, their laughter and joy echoing through the courtyard. Samantha and Sarah observed from the sidelines, relief and gratitude etched on their faces. But in the back of Samantha's mind, a nagging thought persisted. What would Karen do next? Over the next few days, Samantha kept a watchful eye on Penny and the children at the community center. The therapy sessions resumed with their usual energy and enthusiasm, and the kids couldn't get enough of their beloved Parrot. However, Samantha couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that Karen was plotting something. Her neighbor's spiteful actions had been a harsh reminder that not everyone in the community supported the center's important work. One afternoon, as Samantha was preparing to leave for the day, her phone rang. It was Sarah, her voice laced with concern. Samantha, you need to get down here right away. There's been an incident with Penny. Panic gripped Samantha's heart as she rushed out the door. What happened? Is she okay? I'm not sure, Sarah replied, her words hurried. Just please, come as soon as you can. Samantha's mind raced with horrific scenarios as she sped towards the community center. When she arrived, Sarah was waiting for her, her face etched with worry. What's going on? Samantha asked, her voice trembling. Sarah took a deep breath. Earlier today, someone vandalized Penny's enclosure. They cut the mesh and left the cage door open. Luckily, One of the staff members noticed it before Penny could escape. Samantha felt her blood turn to ice. You don't think, Karen? Sarah nodded grimly. It has to be. Who else would want to harm Penny and disrupt the therapy program? Samantha clenched her fists, fury coursing through her veins. I can't believe she would stoop this low. Those kids depend on Penny, and she's trying to take that away from them. I've already reported the incident to the police, Sarah said. But I wanted you to know what happened. We need to be extra vigilant from now on. Samantha's mind raced, trying to come up with a plan to protect Penny and the children. Maybe we should consider increasing security measures around the center. I can't let Karen get away with this. Sarah placed a reassuring hand on Samantha's shoulder. We'll figure this out, I promise. In the meantime, let's focus on keeping Penny safe and making sure the kids are taken care of. They need us now more than ever. Nodding, Samantha followed Sarah back inside, her heart heavy with worry. She knew that Karen wasn't going to stop until she had ruined everything, and Samantha was determined to do whatever it took to stop her. As the days passed, the tension at the community center continued to mount. Samantha and Sarah had implemented additional security measures, including a surveillance system and stricter check-in procedures, but they couldn't shake the feeling that Karen was still a threat. The children, blissfully unaware of the underlying drama, continued to thrive under Penny's attentive care. The parrot's presence seemed to have a calming effect on even the most anxious or disruptive participants, and the staff marveled at the impact she had on the program. One afternoon, as Samantha was preparing to leave for the day, she noticed a familiar figure lurking outside the center's gates. Her heart sank as she recognized Karen, her beady eyes fixed on the courtyard where Penny and the children played. Steeling her nerves, Samantha approached her neighbor. Karen, what are you doing here? She demanded, her voice laced with anger. Karen sneered, her lips curling into a twisted smile. Oh, just admiring the view. It's a shame that poor little bird has to be cooped up in there all day, don't you think? Samantha felt her blood boil. You know damn well why Penny is here. Those kids need her, and I won't let you take that away from them. Karen chuckled darkly. We'll see about that. I had my ways of getting what I want, Samantha. And I won't stop until that bird is out of the picture for good. Samantha's heart raced as she realized the full extent of Karen's malice. You're sick, you know that. Those children depend on Penny, and you're willing to destroy that just to get back at me. Well, I won't let you. We'll see about that, Karen sneered, turning on her heel and disappearing down the street. Samantha stood there, trembling with rage and fear. She knew she had to do something to protect Penny and the children, but she was running out of options. Karen was relentless, and Samantha wasn't sure how much longer she could hold her off. That night, as Samantha tossed and turned in bed, a plan began to take shape in her mind. She knew it was risky, but if it meant keeping Penny safe, she was willing to take the chance. The next morning, Samantha arrived at the community center with a determined expression on her face. She pulled Sarah aside and shared her idea, watching as the other woman's eyes widened with both surprise and concern. Are you sure about this, Samantha? Sarah asked, her voice laced with uncertainty. Samantha nodded, her jaw set with resolve. I have to try, Sarah. I can't let Karen win. Penny and the kids are counting on us. With a deep breath, Samantha set her plan in motion, praying that it would be enough to finally put an end to Karen's twisted schemes. The next morning, Samantha arrived at the community center with a determined expression on her face. She pulled Sarah aside and shared her plan, watching as the other woman's eyes widened with both surprise and concern. Are you sure about this, Samantha? Sarah asked, her voice laced with uncertainty. Samantha nodded, her jaw set with resolve. I have to try, Sarah. I can't let Karen win. Penny and the kids are counting on us. With a deep breath, Samantha set her plan in motion. She contacted the local media, asking them to come to the community center that afternoon for a special announcement. The reporters were intrigued, and they agreed to cover the story. As the afternoon rolled around, a crowd gathered in the courtyard, including the children, their parents, and even a few curious passersby. Samantha and Sarah stood before them, Penny's cage positioned prominently in the center. "Thank you all for being here today," Samantha began, her voice carrying across the crowd. "We have a very special announcement to make." She then proceeded to share the story of how Karen had called animal control on Penny and how the community center had fought to keep the beloved therapy animal in their care. The crowd listened with rapt attention, their expressions shifting from shock to indignation. "But unfortunately, the story doesn't end there," Samantha continued. "Just a few days ago, someone vandalized Penny's enclosure, attempting to let her escape. We believe this was the work of our neighbor, Karen, who has made it her mission to remove Penny from our center." As Samantha spoke, the cameras flashed, and the reporters scribbled furiously in their notebooks. The children, sensing the gravity of the situation, remained silent, their eyes filled with concern. "That's why we're here today," Samantha said, her voice resolute. "We're asking the community to stand with us and protect Penny and the children who rely on her. We won't let Karen's spiteful actions tear this program apart. Penny stays, and we'll do whatever it takes to ensure her safety." The crowd erupted into thunderous applause, and Samantha felt a surge of pride and relief. She knew that by going public with their story, they were putting pressure on Karen to back off. Sure enough, as the reporters swarmed the community center, a sullen-looking Karen emerged from the shadows, her face twisted with fury. She glared at Samantha, realizing that her plans had been foiled. In the end, the media coverage and the overwhelming support from the community proved too much for Karen to overcome. Penny remained a fixture at the Willow Creek Community Center, bringing joy and comfort to the children who needed her most. As for Samantha, she knew that the battle was far from over. But with Penny by her side and the community at her back, she was ready to face whatever challenges came next, determined to protect the therapy program and the precious lives it touched.